Today's Tech Minute was produced using the Explain Everything app on the iPad. All Tech Minutes will demonstrate how to integrate one of the 5 C's into your classroom. The focus for this Tech Minute is on critical thinking. So one easy way to improve critical thinking in your classroom is to start using more open-ended questions instead of closed questions that are looking for one specific answer, a right or wrong type thing. Open-ended questions allow your students to kind of think for themselves and think a little bit more deeply about the concepts that you're trying to teach them. When you're thinking of open-ended questions, you can think of using some words like where or describe how something is, explain, so it leaves them to kind of go off on their own way, hopefully using the background knowledge that they've learned with your subject area, but making sure that they have that chance to kind of come up with their own understanding and their own way of explaining it, and not just have a yes or no, right or wrong type answer. The Explain Everything app is a very useful tool for students to help demonstrate their critical thinking. It allows them to be able to record their voice, and they can attach pictures and writing to their voice and be able to come up to give you a complete picture of what it is that they're thinking. So if you're giving them an open-ended question, they can give you a thorough and thought-out response to that question. So an example for a science experiment is using a form of inquiry. So here's a quick example of how a student could demonstrate their understanding of different concepts, but in a more open-ended way. They could import a picture that you could provide to them, or they could find the picture on their own. So you can quickly go into your camera roll. As long as the picture's in your camera roll, you can select it quite quickly. As you can see here, I now have a picture of a bottle with a balloon on it. And so the question could be something simple as explain how this balloon could rise. Now, knowing that you're talking about air pressure in the class, you could get some really thorough, thought-out answers, or you could get some very basic answers. But the students could use their pen tool and could quickly add some drawings on the bottom as they explain about how you would add heat, and then how the hot air would rise, which then would go into the balloon and then eventually expand the balloon, and they could write out all the different concepts or steps or different things that are going on in the picture, and they could submit this recording to you to provide you some formative feedback, or you could do it as a summative assessment. Depends where you're at with this concept. Another example could be asking your students to draw you a scene from a novel, or draw you a different habitat from an ecosystem, or a scene from one of the ancient civilizations. So depending on what topic you are, you could have the students draw out a certain picture, or if they're like me and can't draw very well, they could search for different pictures online, include them in a few slides of Explain Everything, and they could describe their reasonings for their choices of what they put in the specific scene. The key for incorporating critical thinking with technology in the classroom is really not about what app you choose, but it's about the type of questions that you present your students that allows them to have more of an open type thinking and allow them to express themselves in a way that requires them to think a little bit more beyond just getting the right or wrong answer. Thanks for watching this Tech Minute on critical thinking using the Explain Everything app.